Hey my good friends, Sam Haymart. For Test Driven TV, Honda recently introduced to the world the all-new 11th generation 2022 Civic Sedan. So we're going to get our first detailed look inside and out. The new 11th generation 2022 Honda Civic Sedan has been unveiled, representing what I would call a maturing evolution of the marque in whole, with styling, features, and improvements that build upon what has already made it so popular over the decades. Looking a lot like a scaled-down Honda Accord, the new 2022 Civic grows in size once again at the rate of 1.4 inches in wheelbase and 2 inches in length. Width and height remain the same, but key proportional changes, like the windshield being pushed further back by 2 inches, give it a fresh rear-wheel drive-like stance. The face features a more mature-looking expression with standard LED lighting up front and a button nose of sorts with the lower hood line. The side profile gains a longer, sleeker look at first glance, with the rear three-quarter view looking more upscale and businesslike than before. The interior is where I really think the money's at with this new design. Taking an entirely different approach, the cabin features an artistic, if not high-fashion direction that conjures imagery of a Scandinavian furniture store. A wide horizontal dash with deep inset metal honeycomb styling elements with hidden vents almost harken to the 1960s and 1970s eras of design. The wide lines and proportions certainly give a sense of more space and width from behind the wheel. There you'll see an all-new array of available digital instrument displays, including a new 10.2-inch widescreen on upper trims. Infotainment options include a larger standard 7-inch color touchscreen for LX, Sport, and EX, with an even larger 9-inch touchscreen for touring models. Expect full functionality here, including all forms of connectivity, media support, and the availability of navigation, all with simplified menus. Hard controls are provided plentiful, including both volume and tuning knob. Thank you for listening, Honda. Powering the 2022 Honda Civic are a familiar pair of engines and transmissions. LX and Sport get the venerable 2-liter 4-cylinder engine and CVT with 158 horsepower and 138 pound-feet of torque. Unfortunately, Honda has added idle start-stop to this otherwise enjoyable powertrain, but this, along with a few other refinements, up the EPA fuel economy ratings by up to 2 mpg. Civic EX and Touring get a revised 1.5-liter turbocharged 4, which gets a few extra ticks now with 180 horsepower and 177 pound-feet of torque. The extra power comes by way of revised turbo plumbing and adding VTEC to the exhaust cam, among other things. The CVT remains the lone transmission for this engine for 2022, though it gets a revised step-shift algorithm for improved feel. Both powertrain configurations too get a new sport mode toggle on the center console that bumps the CVT ratios and mapping for a more lively feel and gives you red instrument cluster lighting to remind you of your sinful nature. If you want redemption, the Eco mode remains to repent yourself with slower response and less power feel. When it comes to feel, expect the new 2022 Honda Civic to be more mature here too, including a slightly heavier feel as it gains 100 pounds across the lineup. The increase in size and stiffer body structure are given mild suspension revisions front and rear to improve overall refinement and noise levels. These include a half-inch wider track at the rear and larger bushings in the rear trailing arms. The front suspension gets low-friction ball joints and improved strut bushings for better steering feel, and the steering rack is reprogrammed for better feedback and straight-line stability. A new cast aluminum front subframe improves solidity of suspension geometry as well. The 2022 Honda Civic sedans for our market will continue to be built at the brand's Ontario, Canada plant, but for the first time, Honda Civic hatchbacks, when they arrive, will be built in Greensburg, Indiana, instead of being sourced from the UK. No word yet on whether that will include a future Type R model. Well, there you have it for the 2022 Honda Civic Sedan. I like it. I think they've done a nice job here. The boy racer types might not be so happy with it because it's a little bit older and more mature in its presentation, especially with that interior. As I said, to me, it just looks like it has almost a Volvo-like Scandinavian furniture store sort of aura to it. Now, obviously, I'll be test driving it as soon as it arrives. Until then, click here, see our latest video, or better yet, subscribe to my YouTube channel right there. Either way, stay tuned.